Welcome back, everyone, to version 4 of my 2014 NFL mock draft. This video is for picks 1 through 10 of the first round. I'll be posting separate videos for picks 11 through 20 and 21 through 32, so be sure to check those out. Let's get right into it here, guys. Pick 1, the Houston Texans. I still have them going quarterback. I still have them going Blake Bortles, the quarterback from Central Florida. I know Johnny Manziel is a name that's picked up steam as far as the Texans go, but I can't ignore the George O'Leary, Bill O'Brien connection and what that will mean towards this pick. Bortles is a guy who has the physical attributes, the arm strength, and the elusiveness out of the pocket that I think Bill O'Brien's going to fall in love with. The raw parts of his game, and there certainly are raw parts of Blake Bortles' game, I think Bill O'Brien will think he can coach up. Blake Bortles, number 1, to the Texans. Pick number 2, the St. Louis Rams. If they stay in this pick and don't trade out, I think they address the offensive line and take Greg Robinson, the tackle from Auburn. Yes, they re-signed Roger Saffold, but remember, he's injury-prone and can kick into guard if needed. So if you get a healthy Jake Long back eventually, you have Greg Robinson. Now you kick Saffold into guard, and you just turned that offensive line from a major liability to a major strength of your team. Greg Robinson to the Rams. Pick 3, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Look, do they take the edge pass rusher who's maybe a once-in-a-decade talent, or do they take the franchise quarterback? I think here they take the edge pass rusher in Jadeveon Clowney from South Carolina. Why? It fills a big need for them, and he's far and away the best player left in the draft at this point, in my opinion. I think he's the best player and best prospect in this draft as a whole. He slips here to pick number 3, a no-brainer on my part. Jadeveon Clowney to the Jaguars. Pick 4, the Browns. Do they wait on a quarterback? Do they take their quarterback here at number 4? Remember, they have another pick late in the first round and also another pick at the top or near the top of the second round. I think they get their quarterback here. They don't wait. Johnny Manziel, the quarterback from Texas A&M, I think goes to the Browns here. They need a face of the franchise. They need a guy who's going to come in with a little bit of a personality and swagger, and Manziel is that guy. And I think he's going to produce on the field enough to be a real hero in Cleveland and be a guy that we look back on as being one of the steals of this draft. Johnny Manziel, pick number 4 to the Cleveland Browns. Pick 5, the Oakland Raiders. Look, they could use playmakers. There's no doubt about that. And the best one in this draft on the offensive side of the ball is still here in Sammy Watkins, the wide receiver from Clemson. I think this is a classic case where the best player available fits one of the biggest needs for the team drafting. And Sammy Watkins will be a nice fit out there in Oakland. The fans will absolutely love his elusiveness and his explosiveness. Watkins to the Raiders at pick 5. Pick 6, the Atlanta Falcons. Look, do they go to shore up the offensive line, or do they go for a dynamic defensive player? I think they can get the offensive lineman later. To pass on Khalil Mack here would be a mistake. I think they go with Khalil Mack. He can play in a 3-4. He can play in a 4-3. He can drop in coverage. He can rush the passer. This guy is an all-around player, an all-around linebacker. Just ask Ohio State players and their fans about the performance he put on earlier this year when Ohio State played Buffalo. And look, Khalil Mack, to me, the second best defensive playmaker in this draft. And I think there's a big gap between him and the next guy. The Falcons jump on him. Khalil Mack to the Falcons at pick 6. Pick 7, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. A lot of different ways they can go here. They can maybe go for a pass rusher. I think they go, though, to the offensive line to solidify that right tackle. Look, the left tackle spot, they pick up Anthony Collins in free agency. Solid addition in my mind. Now they go for Jake Matthews, the offensive tackle from Texas A&M here at pick 7. He's a well-rounded player, a plug-and-play kind of guy, a guy who's played right tackle extensively, who's played left tackle extensively, has a high football IQ. You develop the pocket around Josh McCown and hope you can get a couple good years out of him with some weapons already in place. Jake Matthews, pick 7 to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Pick 8, belongs to the Minnesota Vikings. I think here, along with Manziel falling to number 4, we're going to look back on the Minnesota Vikings taking Teddy Bridgewater at pick 8 as being one of the true steals in this draft. He's my number one quarterback on my board, followed by Manziel and Bridgewater. I think Bridgewater becomes, along with Adrian Peterson, the face of the Vikings as they move into their new stadium, the most pro-ready guy who can step in right now, grasp the in-depth offensive concepts that the NFL is going to throw at him, a guy who will minimize turnovers, be a good leader, be a good teammate, and I'm absolutely higher on Teddy Bridgewater than most people I know. I think Vikings fans will love him. Teddy Bridgewater to the Vikings at number 8. Pick number 9 belongs to the Buffalo Bills. And the Bills, again, a team that has some serious needs that can go in a lot of different directions. When you look at Stevie Johnson, Robert Woods, okay, and also T.J. Graham, you look at guys that are probably all average out to being number 2 receivers. Let's give them Mike Evans, the big 6'5" receiver from Texas A&M. Give them a guy who can stretch the field, who can also be a legit red zone threat, and who can overall cause mismatches all over the field, and I think help certainly E.J. Manuel in his development in his second year. Mike Evans, to me, very close, okay, to eclipsing Sammy Watkins as the best receiver in this draft. I think a guy at pick 9 that's a value here for the Bills at a need position. Mike Evans to the Bills at pick 9. The Detroit Lions, if you followed my other mock drafts, you know I had them going receiver here in this spot, of course, until they now add Golden Tate on a big money deal to be that number 2 receiver opposite Calvin Johnson. With that being the case, I think they go now on the defensive side of the ball to the cornerback position and take Justin Gilbert, the corner from Oklahoma State. Personally, okay, I'm more high on Darqueze Dennard than Justin Gilbert. But I think the overall skill set that Justin Gilbert brings is from what I'm seeing, a little more attractive to most NFL teams. I think Gilbert will be the first corner off the board, and I think it happens here at pick number 10 to the Lions. Guys, that's my rundown on picks 1 through 10 of the first round. This will only be a 1-round mock draft. I'll do my second 7-round mock draft about a week before the draft, so be sure to check that out. But the rest of this 1-round mock draft will be up in 2 separate videos for picks 11 through 20 and 21 through 32, like I said earlier. Be sure to check those out. Be sure to subscribe to my channel here, guys. It's completely free. Check out my draft library of videos here. I've done over 100 videos just on the 2014 NFL Draft, so be sure to check those out. Thanks as always for listening, and have a great night.